above them. Well, just 2 league defeats all season for the reigning Pro 14 champions. Leinster will be eyeing up more silverware and potentially another double this season. And it would take a brave individual to bet against them lifting the trophy along the M8 at Celtic Park come May. Post Six Nations, a number of star men are missing tonight, but they have earned the right to rotate and rest, and throughout the campaign they have demonstrated incredible strength and depth. Leo Cullen is delighted though to welcome back 3 key players from injury. One of those is Dan Levy, who adds his experience to the back row. Fellow Irish international Sean Cronin has been in lethal form this season with 5 tries and 7 outings. Luke McGrath and Joe Tamani return to the back line, which has endured a reshuffle with Ross Byrne not being risked at 10. Therefore, Kieran Frawley moves in to fly half. Jimmy O'Brien is promoted from the bench and starts at 15. Well, 4 must-win games. That's the task that Edinburgh face, and it doesn't get much tougher than tonight. That's what they have to do, though, if they are to make the post-season playoffs and also European qualification for the Champions Cup next season. 3 defeats in 4 games has caused significant damage to their aspirations this season. They now look to re-establish that festive momentum that had them as one of the form teams in Europe. Well, it's been a long time coming, but John Barclay makes his Edinburgh debut this evening after 10 months out on the sidelines. He goes straight into a dynamic back row alongside Hamish Watson and Bill Mata. Watson, Toulis and WP Nell all started at Twickenham last weekend. Another player making a comeback is Matt Scott after suffering from concussion back in October. Well, there will be a minute's silence for victims of the atrocities in Christchurch last week. And our thoughts go out to all those affected and those who lost loved ones in Christchurch.
And Edinburgh, a huge thank you for joining us this evening to support your city. And now,
and in charge is Ben Whitehouse of Wales, assisted by Wayne Davis and Rhys Jones. And Neil Patterson is on TMO duty. Well, what a big game. Conference B leaders taking on Edinburgh on a blustery night at BT Murrayfield.
Blues happy?
Things are about to hot up. Round 18 of the Guinness Pro 14 is underway as Kieran Frawley kicks off deep into the 22. It's fielded by Bill Mata. And now, first chance for Jimmy O'Brien, who was originally on the bench for Leinster. Now Joe Tamani takes over. McGrath, Luke McGrath, that is, back in at scrum half, the Irish international. And it's there for the scrum half once more. And early possession for Leinster. It's taken on further by Josh Murphy, the second row. Now Max Deegan, big 22-year-old number 8. Flat it goes to Sean Cronin. Now Timani, the direct approach coming from the Australian international. Now it's flung out by Frawley, and there's a bit of space wide as Levy helps it on to Fergus McFadden, who was a try scorer when the teams met in Dublin earlier on in the season. The knock-on brings Edinburgh advantage, and they might look to run from deep here as Johnson almost away. Just halted and held up as Bill Mata is next to take on his first carry of the evening. Nobody has made more carries in the Pro 14 this season than the Fijian number 8. High it goes from Henry Pyrgos. Taken by O'Brien. Just juggled it a little at first, and in flew John Barclay, making his first tackle in an Edinburgh jersey. What a frustrating 10 months it's been for him. Great take by Mata. He got there ahead of Barry Daly, the Leinster winger. Now Matt Scott. 5 months out for him after suffering that concussion against Toulon. Taken by McGrath. Again, Barclay.
Out now, thank you.
Showing that he is up and up to full match fitness.
Back. Excellent.
Secured for McGrath, and here's Frawley. Fielded by Dougie Fife. Takes on his opposite man. Good tackle by Jimmy O'Brien.
Other foot, yeah.
The
It's won by
counter-attack
Leinster.
coming from Leinster, and they've turned that over.
It's still in. Use
Ruddock,
it.
the captain.
Edinburgh out.
Well, no moment to gather breath in the opening 3.5 minutes as Ruddock takes it on for another charge. This is now Michael Bent, the New Zealand-born Irish international. Levy, who missed the entirety of the Six Nations for Ireland, big loss for them. Fergus McFadden getting hands on ball once again.
Incredible physical play, Ruddock. I'll give you a break. 4 minutes and they're still going. Fergus McFadden breaks away eventually.
Oh, that's brilliant link up, and Noel Reid is to within 3 metres of the Edinburgh line. McGrath, McFadden and Reid all linking up as Leinster look to strike first here. So deadly from this sort of range. It's Mick Carney that goes.
It's still in.
Has a bid for the line. They're just short.
Backwards. Clearly. Edinburgh back.
Ruddock now with the pick and go from the back as Leinster look to try and work one more bit of space. They are over the line. It looks to be held up though by WP Nell, who got his body in there to deny Mick Carney.
No, for me, he dived past the ball and the ball went backwards. It was fine.
Wow. 4 minutes 45. That's one way to open the lungs up. Some of these guys just back after international break, and I don't think they'll have had a phase at nearly 5 minutes. Bernard, some fantastic, relentless attack from Leinster.
Yeah, brilliant team play by both teams. You saw Mata highly involved, but once Leinster get in close to the try line like that, they very rarely come away without points. And
really
great defence by Schumann and WP Nell to hold up Mick Carney there, and first scrum of the game about to come.
Yeah, it was a good tackle, wasn't it, by WP Nell. Carney, you could see as soon as Leinster got close to the line, they wanted to go really direct, one it runner pick and go. WP Nell managed to spin Carney, get underneath him to prevent the try, but say John Barclay got off the line 2 or 3 occasions there. He's been out for almost a year in a 5-minute stint. It's good to see him making a lot of tackles. Joe Tamani as well just was pretty influential there.
Yeah, it's a while since I've seen an opening sequence as long as that. I mean, you train worst case scenario, it's usually around 3 minutes, but that's a good way of getting your second wind.
Lads, we set this up for some success, yeah?
Well, Leinster Usually so deadly from this sort of range. 85 tries so far this season, averaging 5 a game.
You see Edinburgh on their left-hand side, Leinster's right. Have got 2 defenders.
You can't be off of the shoulders, okay? You engage from the start. Okay?
It's Ben Whitehouse just.
Once you lifted them up, they engaged.
Just having a word with Max Deegan.
Both teams are at fault, though.
And say Max Deegan will be looking at that right-hand side, but because Edinburgh put 2 defenders over there, it creates space on this left-hand side. You've got Tamani who'll run hard at the line. Outside, Frawley. It all comes from the scrum. The scrum has to be stable first. Edinburgh looking to disrupt this.
We spoke about Levy coming back from injury. Let's not forget Luke McGrath as well. He's missed the last 6 or 7 weeks. He's a really dangerous number 9.
And it is McGrath who feeds the first scrum of the contest. Edinburgh holding firm. Leinster looking to get it to move, and the penalty will go the way of the visitors.
Yeah, I think that's maybe harsh. I thought Edinburgh slowly pushed it up on the left-hand side. It wasn't a whip wheel, and I think you know that Leinster don't feel they have the advantage there because they're happy to take the 3 points and not go for another scrum.
It looked like a good contest, didn't it? You know, it looked pretty stable at first, and then just as the ball began to the scrum crabbed down to the left. You're right. There's nothing aggressive there. It's just a good contest there, and Leinster could play that.
Yeah, I think if anything, Leinster wheel around to the left when the pressure comes on the tight head side of Michael Bent. So, good result for Leinster in terms of getting a kickable penalty.
And an early opportunity for Kieran Frawley, 21-year-old, who's come through the Leinster Academy, the famed Leinster Academy. And there's many more in reserve. Originally selected to play at full-back. Ross Byrne's injury, meaning he takes over the 10 jersey and the kicking duties, and it's a successful start from the youngster Kieran Frawley. Makes it Edinburgh 0, Leinster 3.
Yeah, well done. Good kick by Frawley there. It's a lot to take on your plate, moving a positional change, but also a young, inexperienced player as well. But he's you know, for all that possession, the first 4 minutes, he distributed well and he's kicked his first goal really well.
From the Skerries club. And that'll settle him nicely with an early kick to give Leinster the lead. Of course, no Johnny Sexton. The majority of the Irish internationals unavailable. It was interesting with Richard Cockerell stating about his own team selection. He wouldn't have wanted, ideally, to go quite so strong with a big European quarter-final coming up next week, but the position of the league means that they have to go for 4 wins out of 4.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a wise decision as well. There's a man there that he hasn't been away internationally recently, Ross Ford, but brings a huge amount of experience. 110 caps for his country, and he finds Barclay.
And approaching 200 games for his club as well. As now for the first time, Edinburgh backs have ball in hand, and it was James Johnson who crashed into the first tackle. Then Pierre Schoeman. Matt Scott keeps it alive too for Fraser McKenzie. Now John Barclay with the carry. Charges into Mick Carney. Jaco van der Waal feeds it out to Big Ben Toulis, and a good contest between him and Joe Tamani. Locks flowing there. And
still advantage.
There will be advantage coming for an Edinburgh penalty. Ross Ford onto Pierre Schoeman, who's knocked backwards. Free play this for Edinburgh. Pyrgos looks to dink one through, and Edinburgh will now come back for that penalty.
It's clear what the player was trying to do. He's trying to slow ball run. No, this man here.
It's Joe Tamani, isn't it? I think.
Sorry, lads.
The centre made 2 good tackles in that. The first one off the line, it was a big hit by Tamani.
It slowed the ball down.
The second one was a more passive tackle on Ben Toulis, and as he was getting up and out the way, he bumped into Henry Pyrgos on the wrong side.
Yeah, it was a good first phase strike from Edinburgh, just shifting the point of contact a channel further out maybe than we thought they would, with Watson breaking off the line out and getting a good pass. Big hit from Tamani, but after that I thought Edinburgh were getting over the gain line quite quickly, and also getting quick ball for Pyrgos. See Toulis here.
Yeah, that's it, the tackle fight, Tamani, and then he actually moves towards Henry Pyrgos, the Edinburgh number 9. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to slow the play. Should be going to the left-hand side of that ruck to get out the way. Well picked up by Ben Whitehouse. Although he doesn't look very happy with the decision. He's pleading his innocence.
He knew what he was doing.
First chance for Jaco van der Walt. From just outside the 22, it's ricocheted off the post. Well, he's had a fine record with his goal kicking all season. That's just a third miss in the Pro 14. Fine margin, but you expected the flags to go up there. So Edinburgh miss their first chance to respond to Leinster's opening 3 points.
Well, it's a bluster even. We've seen it already with the kicking out of hand, but rattled the right hand upright. This, and actually,
that's a middle.
Leinster react pretty well. The ball hits turf. A couple of Leinster players collide, and they're quite fortunate to get the ball to clear. But Van der Walt has been, as you say, Rory, outstanding with the boot. Then he'll put that one behind him and focus on the next challenge.
I don't think he started the season as Edinburgh's first choice 10, but he's taken over that role from Simon Hickey, who's on the bench again this evening. And Van der Walt plays it into Darcy Graham. Mata met by Cronin. Barkley. And again, Van der Walt, the link man, to feed Johnson.
Keep going. Good.
On goes Barkley again.
Yes, stay.
Watson. Now Pyrgos to Van der Walt. And Mata. And a chance for Johnson with a bit of space in front of him.
I think I was on his shoulders.
Toulis. Referee Ben Whitehouse just checking with his fellow officials that the tackle was legal. Watson.
Seen a head injury.
Bouncing off tackles, Hamish Watson. And we will have a break in play just with the player down and being treated for a head injury at the moment.
Just clear that injury there as well, please, Paddy.
Yeah, have a look at
I think it's
a
no
tackle
read
off the ball, or is that?
That was a clear out here. They're maybe checking.
Yeah.
So just as Noel Reid makes a tackle, he just lifted. I don't think he landed. We'll have a look from this angle.
He's sitting above the horizontal, wasn't it? The 13. It's Fraser McKenzie and Schumann that centre lifted is above the horizontal, which isn't good. And if you're in that position, you have to place the player back down. You can't drop them.
Yeah, there's a duty of care to look after the player. Ben White is going to have another look at it now.
It all depends on, where if it is no read, where he lands. If it's his shoulder or his back, or if it's his head or neck, it could be consequence for Edinburgh.
Referee is checking for foul play.
Certainly not being driven into the ground, but as I say, he's above horizontal, and it's your duty of care whether it's Schumann or Fraser McKenzie. He has to be placed back down to the ground. He can't be thrown like that. I think Edinburgh could be in trouble here.
Yeah, it looks dangerous.
Yeah, you're never going to get away with that these days.
It's who's culpable, isn't it?
But the problem is, I think, McKenzie doesn't know that Schumann's going to come in and finish it off like that, and vice versa. So, but it definitely, the optics aren't good.
You have to place the player down.
That's the best angle for you.
Go back a second. We'll deal with this, and then I'll come and see it. Let's play it again. Sorry.
Well, big decision here for. Well, Ben Whitehouse is the referee. Neil Patterson, the TMO.
Well, I think one of the problems is that Fraser McKenzie's coming straight, and Peter Schumann's coming in from the side here, so they're working against each other, and then no route to let go, and it's what hits the ground first. It's probably a shoulder then head.
Yeah,
there.
I think it's shoulder first.
Just. I think it'll be a yellow card, at least.
Yeah, but who do you yellow?
But that's the thing. Who's culpable?
I think you have to take
Fraser McKenzie's lifting the leg.
Yeah, but this is superseding its level of severity. This is much more severe than a high tackle.
No, Reid's back on his feet, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's the guidance.
So it's Fraser McKenzie that's being called over.
what's happened is, you picked the man up, he has gone through the horizontal, he's landed on the side of his shoulder. It's going to be a yellow card. You haven't got any regard for the player's safety there, it's a yellow card.
So Edinburgh down to 14 men early on, but it is just a yellow.
Yeah, I think it's good refereeing. You know, he took his time, he looked at multiple angles, communicated with his TMO, and that's a fair decision.
Yeah, I agree. The right decision there. It's reckless from Fraser McKenzie. Admittedly, Pierre Schumann was part of it as well and probably worked against each other. Noel Reid's leaving the field for a head injury assessment. The bare minimum. It's good to see he's up walking and walking off for the physio.
So, Noel Reid heading off for that assessment. Leinster have gone on with things, and Tamani into Levy. Lovely short pass from the Australian to put his flanker right up to the 22. We've got Conor O'Brien is on for Leinster, and he has the ball here, and he's got a gap opening up. Leinster so close there. Pyrgos managed to get a hand in there and knocked it on in the process.
On the floor forward, yeah.
Just knocked forward, wasn't it? Another really good attack by Leinster, because Edinburgh are one man down the line. This is the end of it after the loop play. And that's the knock on there for Henry Pyrgos, one hand to it.
Lads, both teams.
But whoever comes into this 9, 10, 12 axis for Leinster,
this side was a little bit
they're so comfortable at these loop plays that it's in their DNA that they look for that second touch, the challenge defence, and Henry Pyrgos there just got a hand in. But because Edinburgh are losing the man in the line out there, John Barclay's defensive role was much narrower, and it was wonderfully spotted by Joe Tamani. Just instead of carrying, he slipped the ball to Dan Levy. Good play by the big number 12.
Bind.
Well, Leinster in good field position again in the Edinburgh 22 and looking to come away with points once more. They've got a bit of forward momentum too with the scrum that's held by Max Deegan at the back. Advantage still to come. Matt Scott has it, so we'll go back for the penalty, and Edinburgh's scrum, the 7, struggling to compete with the Leinster 8.
Would you scrum again, Bernard?
I think they'll probably go to corner now. They've backed their line-out maul. Sean Cronin even at the back of that line-out maul is devastating, and while Edinburgh have a man in the bin, big opportunity to get a try, maybe convert a try.
There was Conor O'Brien who's come on.
Use a line now, lads.
The power of the Leinster 8 doing some damage there to Edinburgh's pack. Winning the penalty, and the line out has taken us to 5 metres out from the Edinburgh line. It's to the back for Josh Murphy. Good take from him.
Out! Good.
Desperate defence having to come here from Edinburgh, and a man's gone loose, and it looks like Sean Cronin. And Leinster get over for the first try, and it is the hooker who has been in superb try-scoring form this season. He's got another one, Cronin.
Yeah, well, he'd be so determined to come back into this Leinster jersey and re-find a form that has him nominated for one of the European Players of the Year. Obviously, difficult Six Nations for him, but a try-scoring machine, and it was a great maul to start off with. I mean, Leinster were going forward, you would have felt that he could have mauled him over, but he obviously spotted a little opportunity down the blind side, and he's so dynamic and explosive. And he just once he gets in close, he's gone there. He's just gone on the right hand side and gets a great try. He
scores a lot of tries as Sean Cronin. Quite often in the open field is such a quick hooker, but it's actually really good control by Leinster. They're under a lot of pressure. It's quite fractious. There's defenders coming in from all angles, but Sean Cronin just picks his time. He knows when, if you go off on your own, you've got to make the line.
Yeah.
Maybe having a look for a double movement there, but I don't believe he was held. I think that try will stand. This has just been confirmed, I think, from Ben Whitehouse. It just seems to be a little break before the conversion. Having another look maybe for a second movement, but I'm sure that try will stand. He's so quick when if you go off that maul on your own, you've got to make the line, and he did.
Yeah, confirmation. Sean Cronin's 6th try of the Pro 14 season.
I think Richard Cock will be disappointed with the start his pack have made. 2 scrum penalties. They didn't really get involved in that maul. I know they're man down, but they need to get in there earlier, more aggressive, and rip it apart. Leinster had got great length in it, and we're moving forward towards the line.
And the scrum prior to that as well, as you say, the 7-man scrum, but they'll be disappointed with the discipline that's let them down. And then it's all very comfortable for Leinster at the moment.
Frawley with the conversion. This time unsuccessful effort, but Leinster with a very promising start and 8 points to the good.
Leinster do well to keep the control here. Bill Mattis swimming around the side of the WP Nels on the wrong side. John Bartley working hard, Ross Ford. But it's just the sense and the feeling from Sean Cronin that he knows where the space is and he knows when he breaks off he has to make the line, and he does.
Taken by Deegan. McGrath will take his time before sending the kick up beyond halfway, not finding touch, and that allows Bill Matta, who's just recently signed an extension to his deal to keep him at BT Murrayfield until 2021. He's one of the most sought after players in European rugby, so a real coup for Edinburgh to keep their man. Van der Vaalt. Edinburgh just going backwards at the moment. It's there for Matta once more. Pyrgos waits, and the extension of the ruck gives him space to fire that towards O'Brien, who makes the mark.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision to kick, because Leinster have got 13 in the front line. They're very aggressive, and you know, Edinburgh are trying to go really deep to get around them, and they're not getting anywhere. But if you're going to box kick that, you can't have it land in 22 in the inside of 22. It's just too easy for Leinster there. They got to make it contestable.
Yeah, Leinster defence. That's the first really sustained bit of defence they've had to produce, but it was good. Flying up and outside, forcing Edinburgh in tight.
It looks like Noel Reid's not going to come back on. He's sitting on the bench there, and that brings Conor O'Brien in, who's been incredibly good for Leinster this year. Really powerful.
Ross,
Tamani's a bigger guy, but wait till you see this guy carry the ball.
That's fine.
So Ross Ford right on halfway. Can use the line to guide the line out throw. And now Matt Scott. Schumann, driven backwards by Michael Bent.
Use it.
Pyrgos. And Matta, but it's a bit static from Edinburgh.
Leave it. Use it.
Again, Pyrgos will look to kick. Hangs in the wind, really. Knock on came from Daly.
It's more evidence of how strong that Leinster defence is. They marched Edinburgh back maybe 15 metres there, and it was a big ball carriers from Edinburgh as well, getting hit and driven back. Schumann was hitting a 2-man tackle, and then the pressure's all on Edinburgh. A slightly shorter box get there held in the wind.
Trainer, lads, time is
the Barry Daly can't take, so Edinburgh do get to put into the scrum.
Chris, in the pre-match analysis, you spoke about how good their attack is. Many 85 tries for Leinster, but their defence is the second best statistically, just behind Munster, and they take massive pride in it. And you know, the young players who come in are very much judged. They're all very talented, but they do the hard work as well.
Similar to what I was saying about that return, that loop play, there's a really clear blueprint of how Leinster play in attack and defence. No matter who comes in, whether it's a young player or a foreign player coming to the club, they just fit seamlessly into it. It really is it's a progressive way of thinking, and it's been successful, and it is successful for them.
Yeah, and Stuart Lancaster is actually responsible for attack and defence, and they've got Felipe Conaponi now looking after backs attack, John Fogarty, Leo Cullen, Emmett Farrell. There's a really good coaching group there who the players really believe in, and I think it's a lot of simplicity, but repeated at high intensity. And you know, they were very comfortable in that first 5-minute phase. In actual fact, we're 19 minutes into the game. I think they've had one error when Michael Bent dropped the ball, you know, close to the line. Everything else has been no penalties given, or one penalty given away, and you know, pretty good continuity.
Leinster used the break for the Six Nations to get Leo Cullen and Stuart Lancaster tied down to new deals. And they can continue the fine work that they're doing in the Irish capital.
Crouch. Bind.
Free kick.
See Matt's got the Edinburgh centre on the side of that scrum, even although it's there put in, Edinburgh's put in. They've brought the centre onto the side to make it 8 versus 8, just to respect the power of the Leinster scrum. There he is, the number 12, packing down in the... It obviously cuts down your attacking options, but hopefully it helps you from an Edinburgh point of view retain. It's no Leo Cullen.
Can't miss that hairdo, can you? He's stolen Sean Lamont's peroxide.
Or Stuart Hogg.
Stand back here.
Yeah, so Leinster know that with Matt Scott, the inside centre being in the scrum, this is unlikely, very unlikely to go wide, so they can steal a few yards in defence and fly up on Edinburgh and try and shut them down quickly.
And the Edinburgh pack holds firm. It's there for Turgos. And now Darcy Graham. 2 tries at Twickenham. Bill Mata at pace now. And the Edinburgh crowd now getting into things as Matt Scott was hit hard. Welcome back to frontline rugby. Dougie Fife.
Leave it, Leinster!
Barkley. And there's advantage coming for Edinburgh.
You're holding on to the ball firstly and then you didn't roll away.
Matt Scott's return to play protocols are being tested out. Every time he gets the ball, he seems to run into 2 big Leinster tacklers looking to make offensive hits. But he's back up and he's retaining the ball, which is positive.
Edinburgh going forward there, didn't it? Darcy Graham, the small winger making ground, and then big Bill Mata, and then it was that man, as you say, Bernard, Matt Scott, driving into the heart of the defence. Interesting decision to kick to the corner. Thought he might have another pop at goal. It is obviously windy out there, but Fraser McKenzie comes back from the sin minute at the perfect time from Edinburgh's point of view with an attacking line out deep in Leinster 22.
Yeah, I think given the way the first 20 minutes has gone, they probably want to make a statement and get their forwards into the game. They've kind of had these peel outs for the first 2 line outs, but at some stage you'd imagine you want to test the Leinster maul.
Just in front of the line, yeah?
We'll see how Ross Ford decides to approach this opportunity. Ben Toulis is the one to gather the ball in, and Ford now has it at the back of the maul as they do test that Leinster defence.
First stop!
So it has come to 1 halt.
You've lost your bind, thank you, you're out.
Ross Ford still has it.
That's it.
Now it goes down, and the Edinburgh hooker is a lone wolf in the attack. Just for a moment. Now Edinburgh getting reinforcements to secure possession 5 metres out from that Leinster line. Now back up to the full complement of 15 players with Fraser McKenzie. Oh, that's gone loose though at the back for Edinburgh, untidy. And that's a costly error.
Use it.
And Leinster now able to clear their lines through Luke McGrath.
Yeah, they had them all created pretty well built going forward, and unfortunately for Edinburgh, the referee deemed that they collapsed themselves and obviously tripped over, and then when they were into pick and goes, they're just a little bit sloppy, came off the foot of an Edinburgh player and bounced forward, but a little bit better from Edinburgh. Yeah, it was a good maul, wasn't it? They didn't really try to get it set up or get moving right away. The set up, there's the end of the pick and go. Not sure who's, is it Hamish Watson's maybe? I think just as the ball's placed. Oh, is it a hand? No,
it's a difficult
one.
It's a foot, I think.
It's 2 metres from the opposition line. It's a frustrating one for the Edinburgh side and the Edinburgh coaches to see. But the maul, his head in his hands, is not happy with that, Richard Cockrell. But the maul was actually quite well set up. I think Ben Whitehouse was right that the kind of Edinburgh stumbled themselves. The maul wasn't pulled down, but then the reaction of the Leinster defence to get up, get on the line and stop their pick and go was pretty good again. Yeah, Leinster give you nothing cheaply. They'll make you work for your scores, and they're very good at actually regrouping after the opposition get a little bit of forward momentum, as we saw there from that maul.
Well, the chance is still there for Edinburgh. of the line out, still inside the Leinster 22. Ross Ford hits Ben Toulis once more. So it's as you were, Ross Ford with the ball at the back of the Edinburgh Mall, that they now start to look to get moving. Schoeman though is halted, and it will be the turn of the backs, and Matt Scott head down and charge. Well tackled by Dan Levy. Now Pyrgos to Hamish Watson, just grappled by the ankle by Joe Tamani. Scott again trying to spin out of the first tackle.
Leave it, Leinster.
Pyrgos to Toulis. Now Ford. The Leinster defence so accurate.
Ball is clearly available.
It's now with Barkley, just trying to slip off the tackle of Levy. This time it comes to Van der Vaalt, and now Scott. But for Edinburgh, they haven't quite found the craft yet to get through the Leinster line, and there was a solid tackle coming in from Rhys Ruddock, who took a bump in the process. Now Mata is half through.
That's high, playing advantage.
There is advantage coming for a high tackle. It's Barkley once more. And he gets it on to Watson.
Leave it! 12!
Tamani must leave that alone. Pyrgos sends the players out to his left-hand side. Van der Vaalt feeds Dougie Fife. Darcy Graham comes in looking for work, tackled by Ed Byrne. Ford to Schoeman. There's some solid hits coming in. And we'll go back for the penalty.
Just before.
Wow. There's one or two huge collisions out there. Bill Mata's getting treatment.
Accidental high tackle, but it slipped up over the shoulder.
There is a high tackle. There was a break first by Big Bill Mata. I think it was Sean Cronin who failed to make the tackle. Van der Vaalt leaves the ball up to Mata, and he just bursts through two defenders, Murphy and Cronin. And then the high tackle comes in. Edinburgh are trying to create so many different opportunities, either close to the ruck or one out or even wider out, but the Leinster defence is really, really good.
Yeah, well, anything Edinburgh do ball in hand, and they have varied it up. As you say, they've tried various different ways of finding a weakness, but Leinster have stood up to it. It's really been Mata who's looked the most dangerous, and Hamish Watson. They need to get their big ball carriers on the ball, prioritise those, because a lot of the phases Leinster are just eating it up.
No ball.
And as soon as when the line is broken, the defence line is broken, the speed of reset from Leinster is really impressive. They don't look under pressure once the line's been broken. They regather, they reorganise.
Get that water off.
And I say, as the phases grew there, up to 14 phases, the collisions seemed to intensify as the time went on.
Yeah, we could hear each collision from up here, the bang of contact, bone on bone. But shuddering, we were both backing off here as if we were in danger.
Pleased I'm sitting
back on the line now, lads. Good.
Well, an intense opening 26 minutes in this one.
High tackle.
So Van der Vaalt again electing not to go for the 3 points and to take the line out.
Well, the two attempts I've had so far in the 22, they've been not been a rush to set up them all or get them all going forward. They've set it up really well, almost soaked up the pressure from Leinster, and then the drives come on.
6.
The way the referees are refereeing them all now, it's actually very hard to actually score, because you're allowed to hold your position, so you often see opposition players far up the maul, unable to contest them.
Edinburgh backing their set play, and here goes Ford with the ball at the back.
5 out. And you 7 out. Leave him go.
Currently going sideways though. They need to reset and start to go forward. 5 metres out. Mata's now involved. Down it goes under the challenge of Josh Murphy.
Sorry? Yeah. 2. Enter from the side and pull down. That's what called.
Sean Cronin penalised with side entry.
Yeah, so it looked like it was Josh Murphy he was penalising, who actually came in legally and collapsed and killed it, but the referee's talking to Sean Cronin for coming in the side and collapsing it, which is on the blind side of where we were.
You were through the middle, no problem. Two came in from the side and that caused the collapse.
Yeah, that's it. Clarification for Josh Murphy. He was fine. He's initially
Six.
in the middle of there. He can stay in there. He can fight. He gets right through. There's Cronin joining from the side. Just in front of the referee there. You just see that Sean Cronin's back and Edinburgh going to try again.
Stretch for Toulis, but he gathered it in. It's now nicely set. Ford has his hands on the ball, and Henry Purgos trying to add a bit of extra weight to the maul, which has now just come to a standstill. Edinburgh trying to eke a little bit closer to the line, which they do.
Leave it!
But they haven't got the ball over yet.
Don't touch it. Back 10,
Desperate
back,
defence coming in from Leinster, trying to keep Edinburgh out.
Behind the line, excellent.
Mata is next.
No.
Can he find a way over? Ford now waits. The ball is there for the hooker, but again the tackles come in straight away the second that he gets his hands on the ball. Leinster's defence right up to dive in. The backs not getting a chance just yet. And forwards hogging the ball, edging ever closer to the posts. It's now Skuman. Mata, his second charge in this phase of attack. Ford again heavily involved. The experienced hooker drives on, but for now Edinburgh waiting their first score. WP Nell brought forward and has the try, and Edinburgh respond. They had to work really hard for it, but they get their reward, and it's WP Nell who has the score.
Yeah, credit to both teams there. I thought it was textbook defence from Leinster in terms of their body position and not letting Edinburgh forwards get momentum, but Edinburgh stayed patient. They worked really hard, 6-7 phases towards the post, and eventually they forced their way over. Key score for Edinburgh. If Edinburgh had left the 22 without any scores there, you would have worried about it.
Yeah, this is the end of it. WP now picking up, getting wider than the previous carries. Fraser McKenzie's driving over the line as well. This must have been almost 9-10 carries, really close to the ruck. If you watch WP Nell, his first movement is actually sideways. It buys him a bit of time and space, and he gets the ball down just to the left of the posts.
In all the phases up till there, Leinster, the first man took the legs, the second man came over the top. Unfortunately for Leinster there, Michael Bent missed. He let go of the legs, which made it very hard for Byrne to hold someone of Nell's power.
So Jaco van der Walt to make it the full 7-pointer, and we've got a 1-point game now.
It's energy sapping stuff in attack and defence there. Ross Ford was prominent, a number of carries. Hamish Watson as well. It was that man WP Nell who scored the try.
Well, it's been back-to-back defeats for Edinburgh. They haven't lost 2 in a row at home since 2015, but after that defeat to Cardiff and the comeback from the Blues, then going away to Italy and losing to Treviso, that's what they face this evening. And Leinster have come at them hard in this first half, but the Edinburgh response has got them right back in this game. And here goes fullback Jimmy O'Brien. Long time since Leinster had the ball in hand, but Joe Timani making up for lost time. McGrath, the scrum half,
cleaned out now,
has to go digging for it again, and Frawley sends it wide. It just got into the hands of Levy. Now it's there for O'Brien. Great straighten from him. He's away from 2-3 defenders. Now Purgos comes in with a tackle. The evasive running of Jimmy O'Brien, and now Timani kicks it through. Darcy Graham, you never know quite what is going to happen next when he's got the ball. So Mata, as Edinburgh go through their exit strategy. Leinster felt that they'd got something there, and they have. The penalty coming their way.
Well, it's Max Deegan who wins the penalty. I think the number 8 gets over the ball. Great break before that by Jimmy O'Brien. And it's in a stunned silence here at BT Murrayfield, isn't it? Edinburgh looking to try and just coordinate their exit strategy. Bill Mata's chopped low by Tamani. Deegan certainly over the ball. I think maybe Mick Carney as well. Bernard over there.
Yeah, really good technique by Leinster. It's a real aggressive chop tackle by Tamani. Just creates a little bit of separation between Bill Mata and his nearest cleaners, and Deegan gets in there, really good body position. And that's it's sloppy by Edinburgh. It's a simple exit. They're trying to play a phase to open up the space for the box kick to get the ball off the field, and to give away a penalty like that is poor.
Change coming for Edinburgh. So look at Joe Tamani, and Kieran Frawley lines up this kick. Callum Hunter-Hill has come on for Ben Toulis.
Yeah, Ben Toulis got a little bit of treatment just after WP Nell's try. He was injured in the build-up, but he's limping off as well. It's a big blow. Really good defender, good line out forward. He's had a good Six Nations as well, Ben Toulis.
So Frawley eyeing up a further 3 points, no problem at all. Slotted through the middle, and Leinster starting to look to build that lead again.
It's a sign of a championship side, isn't it? A championship winning side. They've conceded, Edinburgh had to work really hard for that try, and within 2 or 3 minutes they've got Leinster have got themselves in a position to chip away another 3 points. Good play by the Dubliners.
Well over 600 points for the season for Leinster, and that was quite a take from Darcy Graham straight from kick-off. And it gets Edinburgh on the front foot through Schumann and now Mackenzie, who had that 10-minute rest in the sin bin.
Release!
Johnson. And Pyrgos to Barclay and Van der Vaalt. Schumann tackled by Carney. Van der Vaalt to Mata. Well tackled by Daly. This time it's Ruddock that shoots out from the line along with Deegan. Watson trying to find a way around the outside, and he has, and he's still going. Pyrgos, and there's advantage coming there. The knock-on will go straight back for the penalty, and there might be a further talking here for Leinster, and Rhys Ruddock being called up, the captain.
We have 3 instances, almost identical. Certainly 2 of them are identical. Your players are getting up and going into the 9, which is slowing the ball down. Split second, 1 second, 1.5 seconds. It's enough for you boys to realign. Happens again, someone leaves the field. Yes,
can I talk to him?
Yes, you can. Henry.
Yeah, I think that's well picked up by Whitehouse. It's the same type penalty that Tamani got caught with. Sean Cronin got caught that time, but every ruck, the Leinster ball tackler is hanging around for that split second too long and just testing Ben Whitehouse' patience.
I think all 3 of those were Sean Cronin as well.
Yeah, they were actually.
He knows exactly what he's doing. There's Darcy Graham. Edinburgh back in the game with that take from the kick-off. Fantastic leap, good kick-off as well. But excellent leap from the winger to win it. And there's Sean Cronin. It was at least 2 of the 3. The wily old fox. And Edinburgh go touchline again.
I think the forwards would have liked a little bit more distance on that kick there. Just in.
Yeah, you heard
just out of 22.
You heard the wind buffeting on the refs, Mike. This is a kick off. Van der Vaalt sits it up, and again the wind probably has an effect here. But Darcy Graham gets up in front of Carney and his lifters and keeps the pressure on for Edinburgh. You're right, that's just in the 22. This line out, and Edinburgh have lost it.
Great steal from Leinster, but it isn't tidy enough, and Luke McGrath just managed to take it over, so the result will be an Edinburgh scrum 5 metres out.
That's a huge boost for Edinburgh. They messed up the lineup, but now they got a great set piece attacking opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see if they can start to get a little bit of dominance in the scrum now.
It's good defence, isn't it? It's a Deegan at the front of the line who gets up in front. Maybe the throw could be a little bit harder, but it's good. It's good play.
All
Left and left.
Edinburgh's lineouts have been to the front because Leinster haven't been putting a pot up there. But the element of surprise, they throw Deegan up right in front, and Ross Ford maybe leaves a little bit off the throw because he thinks it's going to be a comfortable catch without any pressure.
Well, big moment this. 3 minutes to the break. The Edinburgh forwards have already had the reward of 1 try. Scored by the man in picture there, W.P. Nell.
Set.
Scrum 5 metres out, loaded over on the left-hand side. Leinster trying to repel it, but in doing so they have given away a penalty, and Mata is dragged backwards by a combination of McGrath and Ruddock.
Yeah, it is advantage.
Pyrgos to Ford, helped out by Schoeman and Hunter Hill. Now Scott, and out the back for Van der Vaalt to Fife, who just had to check his run. Hauled down by Tamani. John Barclay. Van der Vaalt to Ross Ford. He's been involved in so much of Edinburgh's attacking play. Schoeman is next. And now Pyrgos with a chip over. It's covered by Deegan. And we'll go back for the penalty.
Stepping wrong, not driving
straight. Bit of a mismatch there.
Well, it's as tough as it come now.
Pressure come on.
Fantastic there, and you can see he's brave, and that's a long advantage again, isn't it?
Yeah, huge advantage. It came from the scrum penalty. It just looked like Edinburgh about to get forward momentum. WP Nell got himself in a really good position, but as they went forward, Ed Byrne tried to come back at him too quickly and collapsed. Right call here, but Edinburgh need to make this pay now. This key moments just before half time. Be massive for them to get a score. You just see it here. WP Nell, they build it. He's just starting to get a little bit of momentum. And just there, Ed Byrne just loses his left shoulder and collapses right in front of the referee.
So Edinburgh fancying another go at the scrum. Final minute of the first half.
Crouch.
Edinburgh looking for a massive boost before the break. If Leinster can hold them out, how big a psychological advantage would that be?
To slip.
Mata holds it on his tiptoes at the back of the scrum, which has now gone down.
Reset. We'll reset. Both go down my side. My side of the scrum.
That's good play at the back of the scrum by Mata and Pyrgos, because Ben Whitehouse is telling them to use it because there's a slip, but Edinburgh don't want to use that ball. They want to try and test the referee here, try and test Leinster's scrum and get something directly out of the set piece rather than play out the backs and give Leinster a chance to recover.
Yeah, it's this battle on this side, isn't it? WP Nell, that manual shot on Ed Byrne, the loose head for Leinster. It's actually a good old-fashioned scrum contest. Quite often you see scrums going down, or they're going down for dodgy reasons, but that's a proper contest, man. Yeah,
there's a huge amount. It's an individual battle between the two of them, and that's the way WP Nell scrummages. He's quite a difficult character. He's not your stereotypical tight head. He's lots of different tricks, but Byrne is a young prop with lots of potential, and he's doing okay at the moment, but this is a key one for him.
Big play this, the final moment of the first half. And the drive comes, down it goes! And Ben Whitehouse is off under the post. It's going to be a penalty try for Edinburgh. And now he signals it. That is a huge moment in this game.
Moving forward, the whole front row standing up. That's the half paddy up.
Leinster front row penalised. Penalty try ends the half. It's the full 7 points for Edinburgh, and that gives them a 3-point lead at the break. Well, what an interesting opening 40 minutes that has been, and Edinburgh get a telling score right on the whistle, and it brings up the halftime score at BT Murrayfield. Edinburgh 14, Leinster 11.
Please welcome to the field St David's as they come to compete in the half-time rugby. Make some noise as they join us on the international pitch. Tonight we also welcome clubs, schools and community groups from all across the city as part of our big community ticket giveaway in partnership with the main club sponsor, Principal and Prosper. Joining us here tonight at BT Murrayfield, please give each team a cheer. Bats, Boroughmuir, Kirkstofan, Curry, Forrester, Leith, Linlithgow, Lismore and Murrayfield Wanderers. We also welcome North Queensferry and St David's Primary Schools, along with the pupils and staff from St Augustine's High School in Edinburgh. Finally, a big BT Murrayfield welcome to the brain injury charity Headway and the City of Edinburgh Council Household Support Team. Thank you to Principal and Prosper for their continued support of the club and our vibrant community programme. We hope you all enjoy your night with us here at BT Murrayfield.
The 2019 Guinness Pro 14 final will be held at Celtic Park in Glasgow on Saturday, the 25th of May. Don't miss out on a great weekend in Glasgow. Back your team now and visit pro14rugby.org for more information and to buy your tickets. And remember, you can show off your knowledge on the teams across the championship by joining the official Guinness Pro 14 Fantasy Rugby game by signing up on pro14rugby.org. Win great prizes playing against your friends and fans of other clubs there. And no matter where you are, make sure you follow the Guinness Pro 14's official Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube accounts to gain access to exclusive content, news, competitions throughout the season. Want to thank our title sponsor Guinness, our partners Gilbert Rugby, Sportpesa and Macron, and today's host broadcaster Premier Sports for their continued support. Sportpesa is the proud gaming partner of the Guinness Pro 14. Whether it's scoring the winning try or playing online, you should take every opportunity and make it count. Guinness is the official responsible drinking partner of the Guinness Pro 14. Please enjoy the game responsibly. On behalf of Guinness, welcome to this Guinness Pro 14 fixture between Edinburgh Rugby and Leinster. And best of luck to both teams competing tonight.
Edinburgh's biggest game of the season comes to BT Murrayfield on Saturday the 30th of March as we take on the Irish Giants Munster in the quarter-final of the Heineken Champions Cup. This highly anticipated match sees the Edinburgh squad take on the Irish powerhouse in our first home Heineken Champions Cup quarter-final for 7 years, having topped the pool against Toulon, Montpellier and Newcastle Falcons. Edinburgh are hoping to keep that record going. With supporter fan zones, an indoor clubhouse and lots of matchday activities amongst the rugby action, there's something for everyone. So get the gang together and support your city on the biggest stage. Visit edinburghrugby.org to book your early bird tickets online and don't miss out on a great day of rugby.
Thank you for all your mentions in via Twitter tonight. If you'd still to share some, please get them in using the hashtag #ERShoutout. Our first shout out of the evening goes to the girls from Castlebrae, Liberton and Lismore, and thank you to Amanda Lynch and Mr McPartland for being so awesome. Hashtag #FizItIn. Trinity Primary Rugby team are here tonight, all the way from Hoyt. Craig and Fergus here also as adults.
Taking us to 5 metres out from the Edinburgh line. It's to the back for Josh Murphy, good take from him. Desperate defence having to come here from Edinburgh, and a man's gone loose and it looks like Sean Cronin. And Leinster get on.
Try for Leinster, scored by number 2, Sean Cronin. Try for Leinster, scored by number 2, Sean.
Getting a chance just yet. The forwards hogging the ball, edging ever closer to the posts. It's now Skuman. Mata, his second charge in this phase of attack. Ford again heavily involved. The experienced hooker drives on. But for now, Edinburgh waiting their first score. WP Nell. Nell broke through and has to try, and Edinburgh respond. They had to work really hard. Big play this, the final moment of the first half. And the drive comes, down it goes! And Ben Whitehouse is off under the post. It's going to be a penalty try for Edinburgh. Well, the half-time scores around the grounds would have been very pleasant reading for Edinburgh. There's a change for Leinster. Brian Byrne is coming on for the Leinster try scorer, Sean Cronin. So he's not appearing for the second half. A change at hooker then for Leinster. But with Leinster already having secured their position in the playoffs, Edinburgh have ground to make up, and Cardiff and Connacht at the moment doing them a favour by leading against the Scarlets and Benetton. So Edinburgh looking to sort out their own destiny, and that late try at the end of the first half to back up WP Nell's first has put them in front for the first time in this contest. Now they look to see it out. With Leinster, a formidable force, only 2 defeats in the Pro 14 all season. Lost to the Scarlets in round 2, Munster in round 12. And we're back underway, and a take from number 8 Max Deegan, former World Rugby Junior Player of the Year, the only Irishman to have taken that accolade.
Well, Max Deegan played well in the first half. Busy in a number of ways. He's carrying his defensive work, winning turnovers. He caught the kick-off there, and it was quite a conservative kick from Luke McGrath. Keen to get the ball off the field and reset from the line out, or get their defensive set from the line out. The first opportunity to have for Edinburgh to strike.
Both sides have massive European quarter-finals next weekend. It's another line-out that goes astray, but the knock-on did come from a Leinster hand.
Try to catch it, knock-on.
Yeah, it's going to be key if Edinburgh are going to win this game, that they get clean set-piece possession. You see that second line in a row, Leinster have got bodies up in the air. That time it was Josh Murphy just getting in front, and Leinster a little bit unlucky that the ball's knocked on as it comes to ground.
Such a cruel game at times, isn't it? I mean, that's the last 2 lineouts that Leinster have won against the throw, but have actually ended up penalising themselves.
So Edinburgh face Munster here a week on Saturday, while Leinster up against Ulster on the same day at the Aviva. And Leinster will almost have an entirely fresh 23 for that contest, but getting a few bodies back and up to fitness, the likes of Luke McGrath, Dan Levy and Joe Tamani coming back from long-term injury.
Just saw a shot of the Edinburgh backline there. It's a wide right-hand side scrum, and an interesting setup with Darcy Graham and Matt Scott huddled round Jacques van der Walt there, then a big space to James Johnson. The Leinster defence have... Well, we're not going to see what's happened. A penalty at the scrum.
Edinburgh take that. They can keep the backline moving on their wraps for another day, but if they can win penalties at set piece, they'll be delighted against Michael Bent that time, I think.
And it was the scrum that gave Edinburgh that penalty try right on half-time. They're beginning to get the ascendancy in that area.
It's a good kick from a narrow angle from Van der Walt as well to chew off as many metres as that.
Leinster have already made 1 change in the front row, as you mentioned, Brian Byrne coming in, but they also have 2 international props on the bench, Jack McGrath, British and Irish Lion, and Andrew Porter, so they have the potential to strengthen up that area.
And another steal at the line out. Edinburgh often so secure with their line out, and Leinster managing to get hands on it once again. Away it goes from McGrath.
Well, that's 3 in a row now for Leinster, and that's maybe one of the reasons that McGrath's quite happily just to put that ball off the field and then challenge the line out. Hasn't made many yards in that one with a kick, McGrath. Yeah, this is... It's Ruddock this time getting up. That's too easy for Leinster, that.
Yeah, and again, Ruddock wouldn't be known as a defensive line-out guy, with great lift from them, getting across the line, crowding the space. But it seems that Edinburgh didn't really know the call there. There seems to be some kind of mix-up. But that penalty they won from the scrum was on the 10-yard line. That's kickable. You know, in this game, it's hard to see Edinburgh pull away, but add 3 points to the scoreboard there, and just, you know, build a score rather than actually go for broke, kick into the corner when your line-out's struggling a little bit.
We've seen that a few times actually this evening when they've had penalties in the 22 and they opted to kick the first one. The others, they've gone for the line-out.
It is obviously blustery. The wind, you know, on that east stand side is strong, and both of Luke McGrath's kicks in the second half look as if they've been, you know, struggling to make it a headway, which would give even more kind of value to your point, Bernard, that the wind's probably favouring Edinburgh from that side on that long penalty. That's it, the flag on the east stand side. But it's Edinburgh have got such a strong set piece that they do often launch from there. But having lost the last 3 lineouts, this one's certainly under pressure.
We've got 2 half-backs. Whoa.
They've got a brutal run in Edinburgh. After this, face the Scarlets down in Wales, then they're home to Ulster and finish off away to Glasgow. 4 wins required. And here goes Hamish Watson. Again, bouncing away. Eventually Leinster managed to take him down, but it's front foot ball for Edinburgh and John Barclay. Pyrgos to Van der Walt. Pyrgos again, and Hunter Hill driven backwards. Schoeman. Now a little slower for Pyrgos to get it to Matt Scott. Bill Matta. Pyrgos, now they may spread it wide. Watson, only one way for him to go. Pyrgos to Schoeman.
Clear release, leave it! 7, leave it!
And Edinburgh penalty. Dan Levy got the instruction from the referee to leave it.
Well, I think that's harsh penalty. Ben Whitehouse is going to have a word with Dan Levy as well, but
for me, there is no clear release. It's a yellow card. There's been too many penalties inside the 22.
I'd love another look at that.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that one. It looked pretty good by Dan Levy.
Go. Let's go.
No, if you thought the penalty was harsh, a yellow card.
Well, it's a cumulative effect, isn't it? From, you know, it's not the same offence, but it's another offence round the breakdown. But for not releasing, actually, I wasn't sure if he was a tackler or if he was assist tackler. He still has to release.
He was never fully attached. No. He didn't show the referee he'd released, but I think it's a harsh penalty. But Edinburgh have again gone to the corner here now, and they need to make hay out of this.
Ross Ford, it's now Leinster who are a man light in the forward pack. It's taken by Mackenzie.
5, leave his leg.
Ford has it, trying to control this maul, and Edinburgh have the drive on. Ross Ford edging closer, and it's Ross Ford going one-on-one with McGrath. Did he get that down? Yes is the signal, and Edinburgh have another score. Immediate try from Edinburgh after the yellow card. That is exactly what they were after.
Yeah, the decision was vindicated. It's a night for hookers scoring off the back of the maul. Big difference in terms of the speed of the hookers. It was like in slow motion there from Ford, but he eventually, his power and strength got him down, and once he made that decision to go blind, he was flirting with a touchline a little bit, so it was absolutely crucial he scored, and in fairness to him, he used all his experience and did.
Yeah, it was just Luke McGrath against him, wasn't it? It was Luke McGrath did all he could to try and get underneath the ball, but Ross Ford's so strong. He gets the ball down, I think. We're having another look at this. It's being checked as well, or has Luke McGrath actually turned him on his back? It's whether the ball, I assume the ball's touched the ground there. Yes, it has. We'll just double check it.
Yeah, okay, fine, 10. It's over.
It's a nervous moment for Ross Ford.
Second try of the season for Ross Ford. He's got one against the Kings.
Yeah, good decision, wasn't it? Similar to Sean Cronin, if you come off the bat of the maul on your own, you've got to score. Both hookers, experienced, good servants to the game, both scored tries.
Jaco van der Walt from out wide, and he's guided that one in beautifully. for the full 7 points, and what a start to the second half for Edinburgh.
It's been impressive how Edinburgh built their way back into the game. Obviously a ropey start that first 10-minute period, but now they're starting to get into their shape and starting to get some bit of forward dominance.
And they've built a 10-point lead now, Edinburgh. And Leinster have still got a while to go to defend with 14 men. Edinburgh look to build on this. And they're looking to eat into the lead that other teams have on them in Conference B. Leinster are way clear, 22 points ahead of Benetton, who currently sits second. Edinburgh 3 points behind the Scarlets in fourth. 7 behind Ulster, 8 behind Benetton. But it can all tighten up this weekend in round 18.
No, it's fine. Nice,
the Pro 14 as Frawley tries to steer that towards the corner, but it will go over, and Turgos will happily dot it down for a 22 dropout.
Wasn't a bad idea from Frawley to try and find that corner. It was hit late in the tackle, but the tackler was already committed. I think he just realised that without Dan Levy in the pitch, you're down to 40 men. You don't want to play too much rugby. He tried to find the space in the corner, but the bounce was just unfortunate for him.
Van der Walt finds Daly.
Edinburgh, leave it go. You played Edinburgh in a way. Thank you.
Frawley finds Josh Murphy. It's with the fly half again. Nicely done. It's now O'Brien, but there was crossing there from Tamani.
Yeah, obviously a late change in terms of the 10, 12, 13 partnership, and obviously O'Brien coming in there, and just Tamani just overruns this. Just gets slightly in front and takes out the Edinburgh defender, and it's correct penalty.
What's wrong?
Yeah, looks
Physio?
like
Medic? What's wrong?
this is an injury to Jacques van der Walt as well. It's a head injury assessment, we're not sure. Simon Hickey will come on to replace him, the experienced number 10.
Yep. So off goes Van der Walt, and Simon Hickey is on. And his first job will be to put this as deep into Leinster territory as he possibly can.
He's an experienced player, Simon Hickey, signed from Bordeaux last year. Played a lot of top 14 rugby.
12,
Came in as the number 1 choice, really, and Jacques van der Walt responded really well to that at the start of the season. They've got 2 players pushing each other on. It's a good situation to have.
And Christine is coming on as well in the centre, and Matt Scott on his return. He's been out for 5 months with that concussion injury, and he'll have enjoyed his 50 minutes that he's got back in an Edinburgh shirt.
It's inside the 5.
Frustrating season for Matt Scott, but Dean is back in to reform that centre partnership with James Johnson. It's a congested area of the Edinburgh squad, plenty of quality with Mark Bennett now getting back to fitness, and Juan Pablo Cecino as well.
5! Advantage.
And there's advantage coming. That's a strong drive from the line out for Edinburgh, and they win the penalty too. Mick Carney penalised.
Yeah, we spoke about the set piece. It's had a little wobble just either side of half time of the throw-in, but ever since then, as Rhys Ruddock's questioned the decision of Ben Whitehouse, but you can see 12 penalties conceded already for Leinster. Edinburgh concede fewest in the tournament all year as well. They're very clinical, very good, disciplined side, Edinburgh, and this is them just asserting control. After, as you said, Bernard, Leinster's good start, Edinburgh have trusted their set piece, 1 or 2 wobbles, but when they get that drive going, it's very hard to stop. The scrum's solid. It's won them a penalty try, and they've got tries from Maul as well.
Yeah, it's actually a really patient Maul. It doesn't get going at all at the start. They're happier to build pressure, and then try and force the discipline from the opposition.
WP Nell, an Edinburgh try scorer, has gone off, and Simon Bergen is on. Played his part in Scotland's drawdown at Twickenham last weekend. There's advantage for Edinburgh. Chris Dean, the substitute, his first carry. Now Pyrgos. And they look to spread it out wide. Simon Hickey darting back in field. Pyrgos now to Barkley on his debut. Pyrgos again. Ross Ford, he's already got one. He's eyeing up a double. He's just short.
Leinster, leave it! Leinster, leave it alone. Thank you.
Pyrgos has a fight on to secure the ball.
Back.
They keep it tight. Remember, Leinster still defending with 14 men.
Short!
They're still short. Pyrgos has it. Throws it out to Barkley. Good tackle coming in from Timani. Again, there's more advantage. Jack McGrath on for Leinster.
Back. Good.
Mata. Ed Byrne is the one who's gone off on the Leinster front row.
Nope.
Schumann.
I'm not going to let you get caught out by it.
In plenty of tries going round for the front row. Schumann trying to get in on the act. Edinburgh advantage.
Back.
Pyrgos has it. Hickey. Well, it's not worked out. A bit of afters. Said Darcy Graham's a tough man. He's taking on three of them.
Lads, please. Come on. Okay.
Come back 14? For a penalty, I think.
14. Calm me down, okay, buddy? Huh? Okay.
Did he?
11.
He started it.
Calm me down, okay, please? Contact in the air, the line out.
No, he did. Fergus McFadden.
It's down to interpretation what that dummy is. I will not let you get caught out by it.
So Andrew Porter also on for Michael Bent.
Nothing was
change in the front row for Leinster.
Anyway, so. On the 5 or here? Yeah. Contact in the air.
That's another long advantage, Baron.
That's a very long advantage. He called out that the jumper was thrown across the air into the Edinburgh catcher, and that affected the build of the drive. But rather than try to line them all out, they're going to have a go at scrum.
Fresh legs in the front row for Leinster as well. It's a big for Andrew Porter and Jack McGrath. They'll look to come and make a difference. Edinburgh look to capitalise further on the success they've had in the scrum so far.
Scrum the option for Edinburgh.
Well, they add it. They're going to a 7-man scrum. Leinster. Levy still on the sin bin, obviously. So.
Remember, they already had a penalty try, and Leinster with the early hit that time. And you think Edinburgh will just reset it.
It's the second early engagement in the game. That's why it's gone up to a penalty.
Ben Whitehouse clear with his explanation. Would have been a free kick, but for it being a second offence on the early hit.
Is it a risk for Leinster to just go with 7-man here, Bernard?
It is a risk, but I think that a big faith in Porter and Jack McGrath being able to hold them out, and they probably feel that if they don't have an extra back, they'll be exposed a little bit wide. But I think I don't think Edinburgh are going to want to let this ball out, to be honest, unless.
Bind. Set.
Well, can the Edinburgh forwards produce the goods once again? They get the drive forward. There is further advantage coming. Mata with a degree of control. It's there for Pyrgos. They fling it wide. It's with Dean. Hickey helping him out to secure the ball. Pyrgos once again. Edinburgh have advantage. Barkley trying to get round the outstretched tackle. Watson. That's good tackling coming in from the Leinster players. Captain Rhys Ruddock at the heart of it. There's Simon Bergen. Now the backs have a go with Hickey. Dean with the chip through. And the cover is there from Daly. Back we go for the penalty.
Yeah, the risk with these long advantages is that when you come back for the scrum, Dan Levy's back on the pitch now. You know, you would have been better off just killing it. And now, are they going to be able to get the same dominance against 8 as they were against 7?
We've now got issues at the scrum. We've got 2 penalties on the 5-metre line. We're the same when we were on camped on the 5-metre line there. You can't continue to keep giving penalties away 5 metres from your own goal line. If it continues, you understand what's going to happen. Please do.
It's a stern warning, isn't it, for Rhys Ruddock, the Leinster captain, from Ben White as the referee. 2 scrum penalties, quick succession, 5 metres from your own line.
Yeah, since the 25th minute, they've really fell on the wrong side of Ben Whitehouse in terms of the amount of penalties they're giving away. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not another yellow card in this game the way it's going.
Scrum.
Edinburgh.
Scrum is called, captain. Yeah, that's what he called.
Go again with the scrum.
Penalties for not driving straight.
Let's go, Bergie.
Magnus Bradbury will be coming on for Edinburgh, but just not yet.
Crouch.
They're hunting a bonus point.
Bind. Set.
Turgos feeds. And they can't get that drive that they managed to get at the 7. Maybe now it starts to come. There will be a reset.
There's good game management in the right area of the field from an Edinburgh point of view, this as well. Obviously, the 10-point lead.
Picture, please, Wayne. Reece.
Keeping the pressure on, and Leinster haven't had a lot of possession or territory at all in the second half.
There's a HIA on 6.
John Barclay's debut in an Edinburgh shirt coming to an end after 57 minutes. Scotland international Magnus Bradbury, again he played at Twickenham. He'll be heading off, scored a try at the RDS when the teams met earlier on in the season in September.
Barclay's been outstanding, hasn't he? For your debut for your club, but he's actually been really busy in defence and attack. He's carried really well, carried close in, wide out. He's been exceptional in line speed and his tackling as well. But Magnus Bradbury is a guy who's on fine form for his national team, and he'll look to carry that into the final quarter here.
I think I did hear Ben Whitehouse say that
Bind.
Edinburgh 6 was heading off for an HIA assessment, so that might just be a concern for John Barclay ahead of next week.
Keep it straight, lads. Good.
Mata has it as it just went sideways and Turgos snaffled by Dan Levy. Dean goes into play scrum half and Bradbury with his first touch.
Use it!
It's there for Turgos. I feel a try now could just secure the victory for Edinburgh.
Yeah, ball was out.
Crucial game in their season. Tackle coming in from Max Deegan, helped out by Rhys Ruddock. On goes Mackenzie. Good carry from him. Schumann now. Bradbury with the pickup.
No, his players in the way.
Edinburgh having to work hard for every metre gained. We saw that when WP Nell went over for their first try. Ross Ford, he's got in on the act too.
Back, Joe. Thanks.
With a try of his own. Hamish Watson dragged down by Ruddock. Mata putting in the hard yards.
Yep.
Now Mackenzie. Edinburgh have another go. Schumann over the top.
Thank you.
Now it's there for Bradbury. The backs don't have a chance of getting this. It's forward ball all day long.
Don't touch
Ford
the ball.
just disrupted a little before he could pick up. Hamish Watson. This time it's Carney with a tackle.
No. It's underneath it.
Callum Hunter-Hill waits for the next charge.
Back. Leave his leg, Edinburgh.
Well, Leinster's tackling. They can't miss one, and they're not. Bergen. Now Hunter Hill waits. Tackling relentless, so too each charge coming from the Edinburgh forwards. Bergen.
Jack, thank you.
Now Ford. Again repelled. Bradbury too. Watson. They're edging ever closer to the left-hand side of the pitch as Edinburgh go on to phase number 24.
Playing advantage, no arms.
At last they've managed to eke out a penalty, but they want more. The no arms tackle penalised, so this relentless attack will not be coming to an end, even if Edinburgh don't score here.
Use it!
Ford now. And Mackenzie. As they look for one mistake in that Leinster backline. They haven't found one yet. Haven't found a soft shoulder. Turgos now waits. Instead he signals to Mata to have a carry. Mata gets over. Score given. Bonus point try for Edinburgh. And that could be the game right there. And boy, did they need to work hard for that.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but textbook forward play. So well drilled, so patient, always looking after the ball carrier. In fairness to Leinster, they made an enormous amount of tackles, made Edinburgh play 26 phases, but at the end of the sequence, it took the power of Mata to get over from close range and get the bonus point. And in fairness, the backs have to buy the Edinburgh forwards a point after this, because they're just leaving him in there, and it's so relentless, it's so attritional, but it's led him to the try line.
Some of the first try for WPNL, wasn't it? Multi-phase, up to nearly 30 phases. That's a finish. Bill Mata getting against Tamani, running towards the post, a little bit wider again from the breakdown. All it is a metre or two wider, and he gets a weight behind him. Fraser McKenzie driving him over. Good, so many good elements of defence there from Leinster, but eventually it broke and that man scores a try.
Yeah, Tamani's a big man, but his forte isn't defending around the breakdown like that against a forward. He just got a little bit high, and the power of Mata with a latch from behind was too much. But the Leinster forwards, they're young and maybe lighter than Edinburgh, but they're manning up physically. But just Edinburgh's technique is so good, and their patience is so good.
And the bonus point try as well. You know, that was something that we didn't expect really before the game. We had the idea that Edinburgh could go on and win this match. We thought it'd be a tight affair, but 4 converted tries, or 3 converted tries and a penalty try.
5 tries in the Pro 14 for Bill Mata this season, celebrating his 1-year extension to his contract.
Use it now, use it!
Nick McCarthy's on at scrum half for Leinster to play out the final 17 minutes for them.
Magnus, stop. Thank you. We're onside now.
Desperate to take something from the final quarter of this game. They started so well, the opening 20 minutes. Leinster were dominant, and since then Edinburgh have turned the game on its head.
High. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, I've got it, lads. Come back, please.
There's advantage coming for Leinster for the high hit.
Yeah.
That's Conor O'Brien, and we'll go back for the penalty.
20, high tackle. Yep.
I think Leinster will rally now. I think
their
their attacking game has asked questions, has shown the potential to break down Edinburgh, and now they're so far behind, they will try and play from deep, and I think they definitely will ask questions of Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's a high tackle there from Magnus Bradbury. He knew as soon as he did it, put his hand up, admitted what he'd done wrong, just a loose arm creeping up. But Bernard, Leinster have never had possession in the second half. They've never had territory, never had possession, so we've not seen how they've attacked. But even that there, they're prepared to attack quickly.
Yeah, and if Edinburgh lose their discipline and Leinster start to win a few penalties, Leinster will have set piece in the right area of the game, and we'll see like Cawley bringing O'Brien into the game.
6. All the way, Billy, yeah. Good.
It's a slight overthrow, and Edinburgh have got it. Well, we've got John Fogarty is downstairs, the Leinster scrum coach. John, thank you for joining us. Is there a way back into this contest for Leinster?
We just need to make sure we can hold on to the ball. You saw there, it's disappointing. We've been defending for quite a bit of the game. that's really sapped the energy. So right now we need to, like you guys have been talking about it, getting back into the game, making through our attack, holding on to the ball, taking them through possessions. Will be a big start for us getting into the game. But certainly there's some time on the clock.
Any concerns at scrum time? You seem to have fallen foul to a few of the decisions.
Yeah, we started quite well. We're quite happy. Again, late on in that first half, we were defending quite a bit. They squeezed us a little bit and shook us.
Number 7.
Disappointing. So yeah, it's been a really tough battle. We were expecting one. We've brought on some experienced guys now, so hopefully we'll have a reaction.
Well, John, thank you very much for your time. All the best for the rest of the game.
What do you number?
Thank you.
6.
So a few further changes there coming on. And a steal. Cammy Fenton is on hooker for Ross Ford, one of the Edinburgh try scorers. That's a good rip coming in from Frawley, I think. And that allowed Oisin Dowling to get his first touch of the ball. Dougie Fife then claiming the high ball. And Johnson, it's been such a forwards dominated game. We barely mentioned Fergus McFadden and Duan van der Merwe.
Yes, disappointing we haven't seen both those in full string. They're both very dangerous. McFadden come back from injury, but he's a real box of tricks, and obviously Van der Merwe is just an incredible finisher.
And he's chasing after that. I felt guilty, I had to give him a mention.
And there was one point Van der Merwe had his hands in his hips when Edinburgh were picking and going, but Leinster are looking sharp here back in. The pass is hard, Tamani hitting a good hard line, but that's I suppose symptomatic of the second half, really, or since the last 50 minutes, really.
But the way they set up their attack is giving them space, a little inside loop there, and you know that goes out the back behind Tamani. Leinster have got an acre of space on the outside, so Edinburgh are in control of this game. There's 14 minutes left, but you know they need to make sure they keep their concentration defensively and their communication, because Leinster are dangerous.
Yeah, it's just exactly what John Foggett was saying, just keeping possession. They haven't had many ways into the second half, and certainly the last two they had, they overthrew the line out, and then that little bit of multi-phase there couldn't hold it.
There must be a lot of fatigue in this Leinster team, having defended so much as well. I mean, Edinburgh really made them tackle, work hard defensively.
Crouch.
Well, John Barclay appears to have passed his head injury assessment. He's looking to get back into the thick of the action. Missed 10 months of it. It was injured at his old club Glasgow while playing for Scarlets in last year's semi-final. As Bill Matta, who got Edinburgh's 4th try, takes the carry, and then the pass from Pyrgos, looped over the top, finds Darcy Graham. Edinburgh finding their flow now. Bergen. Dean to Schoeman.
Knock on.
And then he just rather threw that at Cammy Fenton.
Yep.
Yeah. That'll be frustrating for the coaches there to see John Barclay returning to the field. That must have been a head injury assessment, obviously passed by John Barclay. So he's got to come on for Bill Matta, the try scorer Bill Matta. There's a change at scrum half as well, Rory.
Yep, Charlie Shield on.
Nine's coming off.
And the youngster to replace Henry Pyrgos.
You see Matta's last action here, just dummy left from the 9, and then he goes right, and he's so electric, he's so hard to stop, isn't it?
What do you do as a defender there? You know, he can burst a tackle, he can break the biggest tackles, he can run over you, but he's got that ability to run at space either side of you as well. Yeah,
and if you go low, he's going to offload. Yeah. So if you go high, he's going to fend. It's very difficult.
Well done to Nick McCarthy for taking him down. He's back for his first action since November, the scrum half. He's been out for a long time.
Crouch.
Barclay desperate just to get as many minutes under his belt as he possibly can. And it now shows the strength that Edinburgh have in that back row, when you think that guys like Jamie Ritchie and Magnus Bradbury are probably the ones coming off the bench, and then Luke Crosby, Ali Miller, not even in the squad.
It's a position where you need depth, isn't it? It's so attritional on the back row, but Edinburgh are certainly blessed with that depth. And it's horses for courses at times as well, depending on what type of game you're going to play, especially with the balance of the back row. You can have, well, John Bartlett can play all three positions back there, as can Jamie Ritchie, Mantis Bradbury as well. So it's good from an Edinburgh point of view.
Luke Hamilton as well, he'd been having a good season. That's cleared away by Kieran Frawley.
It's an interesting decision, really. It's pragmatic, really, when you're so far behind. Just to give Edinburgh another opportunity to attack. I see Alan Dale, more quality experience coming off the bench.
Yeah, and there's a couple of youngsters on the Leinster bench. Gavin Mullen, the son of Brendan Mullen, who hopefully gets some game time today. Oisin Dowling, Jack Dunn. Young players with huge futures, and it's a big ask for them to come on and turn the game. Edinburgh have such a vice grip like grip on it at the moment.
What's the secret to this Leinster academy? Because they just keep producing excellent youngsters time after time.
Listen, there was a very strong school system, and that's obviously producing a lot of players, but now they've put a huge focus on the youth system as well. And I think a big thing is the competition they have to try and get into Leinster Academy. So at 16, 17, they're already incredibly competitive with each other and mentally tough.
And a few getting some important game time here this evening. It looks like Leinster will fall to just their third defeat of the Guinness Pro 14 season. Scarlets and Munster, the other two who have taken that scalp. And just losing his footing there, Conor O'Brien. Now McCarthy, the substitute scrum half, feeding Porter. Nicely out to Mani, but his pass just a little bit behind Jimmy O'Brien. McCarney now.
Out Edinburgh! Thanks, he's away from it,
to the final 10 minutes of the contest. Now McCarthy and Frawley sent that one high into the Edinburgh night sky, but well fielded by Hickey, and now Fife. And Charlie Shield.
Good.
It's there for the scrum half again.
It's good.
Shield.
20! Edinburgh 20!
With the box kick, Bradbury told to retreat, which
Edinburgh 20,
he didn't.
Offside.
Came from an offside position,
20.
so we'll go back for the penalty.
It's sometimes quite difficult when you think you're a number 6. You've played for the last 3 weeks as a 6 or an 8, and you're thinking, who's 20?
That's only be using Monday when Richard Cockrell's having a go at him with the red laser.
Porter's carry. Frawley. Now Timani. Josh Murphy. Frawley again and into Brian Byrne. Came on for Cronin, who got Leinster going early on with a try, and they've not managed to back that up. Edinburgh's response has been emphatic.
Ball is up. Leave it alone now, Edinburgh.
Short it goes to Rhys Ruddock, Leinster captain for the evening. They have made a lot of changes, Leinster, from what would be their first choice starting 15. Timani.
He's missed everyone.
Now McCarthy into Frawley, going for a run himself. He managed to get past Hamish Watson, and there's a further penalty coming Leinster's way. McCarthy to Ruddock.
Still advantage, offside.
And now the penalty is awarded. Beginning to mount up just with this recent turn in the game.
Tackle area, entered from an offside position.
Yeah, just a little bit quicker tempo from Leinster. A quick tap, obviously, from the penalty, and then challenging the space in and around the first channel between 9 and 10. And Edinburgh just always scrambling to get back there, giving the penalty away. Frawley having a good kick there, but had a nice wee break there as well, just targeting the space close to the ruck.
The stats back up the scoreboard in terms of territory possession. Edinburgh 70% territory, 72% possession, being pretty dominant in those areas, and they've managed to convert that possession and territory into scores.
Well, 2 changes coming for Leinster, and Gavin Mullen is on for his season debut, and Jack Dunn too. Well, that's a real disappointment for Leinster, losing their own line out, just slipping through the grasp.
Still in, use it. Yeah, it's out, ball is out,
Ball's there for Charlie Shield, not reacting quickly enough, and Leinster have it back. It's there for Carney. Leinster looking for a consolation score at this stage. 17 points down with 5 minutes to play at BT Murrayfield.
Excellent work, thank you.
Taken on further, Chris Deenan with the tackle for Edinburgh. And they'll be keen to keep Leinster at bay here. But they're charging ever closer to the line. Watson trying to get his hands all over it. Leinster fighting to keep the ball alive.
Playing advantage.
And there is a penalty coming. Penalties mounting here against Edinburgh.
Well, it was Hamish Watson that was penalised, I think. I think he thought he was in a fair position, but referee Ben Whitehouse called 3 or 4 times there to release, and he didn't.
Captain, Jack, scrum?
Scrum.
Leinster opting for the scrum.
Yeah, the game's gone a little bit sloppy. Both teams' set pieces just starting to malfunction a little bit, but you saw Leinster there when they pick and go. It's a little bit different than Edinburgh's pick and go style. They pick and go really quickly and try and I suppose cut the defensive line. You see in here Hamish Watson was right over that ball, but the referee was screaming release 4. So I think Hamish Watson felt he was entitled to it.
You hero then. Crouch.
Leinster with a scrum, 5 metres out, directly under the posts. Perfect attacking platform, options left and right. They decide to go right. It's with O'Brien. Now McCarthy and Murphy, but Edinburgh defending that well. Now Carney, 3 minutes to play. McCarthy again with the pass out to Dowling. Then take it on at pace. Conor O'Brien.
Edinburgh.
McCarthy. Still life in this Leinster performance. Byrne. McCarthy. And now O'Brien. McCarthy once more hits his man at pace. And here comes Andrew Porter.
Back Edinburgh. Offside.
Leinster doing to Edinburgh what Edinburgh were doing to them in the middle of this game. There's a further penalty to come, and it is awarded now.
Offside, never got back far enough.
In fairness to Edinburgh, they can afford to give away penalties now. The game is won. It's just a question of whether Leinster have time to go and get 2 tries to give them a bonus point. But Edinburgh defender line really well. We started with a really good scrum where they got the left hand side up and took away the wheel from the Leinster attack.
The blind side did not retreat back, and that's when he picked up, made the tackle.
Well, Chris, 78 minutes in, who's your Guinness man of the match?
Well, it's that man on the screen, John Bartley. It seems like an easy choice, but his impact and his influence today, after it was his debut for Edinburgh, but his willingness to carry, his willingness to defend, his line speed in defence. The Guinness man of the match is John Bartley. Hamish Watson comes really close, Bill Mata, and the front 5 from Edinburgh all deserve special mentions, but for his influence and the ability to play like that after almost a year out, the Guinness man of the match, John Bartley.
I think it's testament to his professionalism to be able to play 70 minutes of that quality in a game that's been very, attritional and physical, and he's still going strong now at the end.
And he switched from number 6 to number 8. It's just the first 20 minutes, especially when things weren't going for Edinburgh, he was the one that was standing up to carry, to make the shots, and it's continued on.
We spoke before the match about how Edinburgh have 4 must-win games now. He's going to be crucial to them in this end of season, with his experience, his knowledge of the opposition, his knowledge of the Welsh teams. He's going to be massive.
A big job on here defending first, isn't it? If Leinster can get a steady scrum.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Well, one final effort to come. 20 seconds on the clock. And the pickup comes. McCarthy feeds the forwards. Leinster looking to end the game on a high. McCarthy has it again.
Thank you.
The tackles coming in thick and fast. It was Hickey that time.
Leave it, John.
Jack McGrath has a bid for the line. The ball looks held up there, and Cammy Fenton trying to get under it. Well, there's a question here whether they got it down.
Time off. In the check out.
I think it's either double movement or held up.
Yes, Ben.
Hello, buddy. I have no view of the ball because it went left and then it went round the other way to the right-hand side, to the opposite side of where I was. Try yes or no, please.
Okay, so check in, try yes or no.
Yes, please.
Well, Cameron Fenton got down eventually, but I think we may see from the other angle. I don't think that's hit the turf yet. Is there hands under there? Is he over the line there, I think?
He's over the line, but he's held up. I think they're under there.
He's up now.
Well, it's not conclusive from that angle. Is it Jack McGrath that's carrying?
This one
Here. It looked as if the ball on the near side, just at the feet of Cameron Fenton there, it's held up there. Does it touch the line before Cameron Fenton, number 16, gets down? I'm not sure. There's hands underneath it. The Leinster players aren't celebrating.
Yes,
it's
in the overall scheme of things, it's irrelevant. We're over 80 minutes.
There's no clear evidence of a grounding.
So the ball is held up. It would be a scrum 5, but that's the game.
Well, there's the answer.
It's clearly held up, so it's no try, and that's the end of the game.
And that is full time. The first of 4 must-win games for Edinburgh. It's one ticked off against the runaway conference leaders. Leinster have been beaten for just the 3rd time in the Guinness Pro 14 this season. Scarlets did it in match day 2, then Munster in round 12, and now Edinburgh have inflicted a 3rd defeat on Leinster this season in round 18. They had to win, and they have. Full time at BT Murrayfield, Edinburgh 28, Leinster 11. Well, Chris, what will that do for Edinburgh confidence going into the final 3 games and also into next week as well?
Well, into next week they play Munster here at BT Murrayfield in the quarter-final Europe, but in terms of the Guinness Pro 14, that's really important. It's the first step of 4 really that they need to do in order to qualify. And it'll be, you know, to beat any Leinster team is very difficult. To do it under the pressure of needing to win is very difficult as well. And after Leinster's start, it's an even more impressive result. From 8-0 down to 20-11, the final score. It's a good comeback, built on the foundation of that solid set piece.
Bernard, will there be a concern for Leinster? I mean, we know that Glasgow last year were way out in front and just didn't really settle after that.
Yeah, it's obviously possible to be ahead all season and not finish with silverware, but I don't think that'll happen to this team. They have a huge amount of players to come in Monday morning. They didn't, you know, let themselves down. Even at the end, they're still battling there. A lot of good rugby played, and you know, it's a setback for them, but they'll brush it off and know that you know, there's potential for trophies in this team.
Well, Emma Dodds is with the Guinness Man of the Match, the man of the moment, Edinburgh debutant John Barclay.
John, you had to win that one tonight. What was the key to that victory this evening?
Oh, we knew we had to win. That was probably a big thing. You know, you got to win all the games, but when we've slipped up a couple of times, so to come into, I think we had a bit. Oh, sorry, just had a bit of a slow start, and then come back and score those points was brilliant. The boys, you know, where we play at home is fantastic, and there's 3 or 4 massive games now because we want to be playing in Europe next season.
What's it say about this team? I mean, to beat any Leinster side is an achievement, but to do it under such pressure when you did have to get the result, what's it say about the players?
Oh, look, we've like I said, we've slipped up a couple of times, but they picked a pretty good side tonight, and we came out loaded. And look, we've got some quality coming back. Some of the guys I thought were outstanding during the Six Nations have come back and really stepped up today. So, look, yeah, delighted to get the maximum points and then the big ones next week.
It was, of course, your debut. How good was it to be back out there after the layoff?
Yeah, it's good. It beats doing calf raises in the gym. So, no, like it's been a long. It's been sort of 10 months now. So, it's not been the easiest injury to get over. But yeah, it's awesome to be back out and playing.
And how much confidence can you take from this performance today into the game against Munster next week?
Yeah, look, it wasn't perfect. You know, the start wasn't ideal, but a lot of what we did was very good there. You know, a lot of our fundamentals, you know, scrum, line, our maul, our organisation was brilliant. So, look, Munster will pose a different challenge, but a few similarities in terms of the physical way they play the game. But look, it's going to be, I don't know, 30, 40,000 people in here next week. It's something we're looking forward to a lot.
It's great to see you back out on the pitch. You are the Guinness Pro 14 Man of the Match. Here to present you is Ryan Ewing. Thank you.
Right now.